Rich Tehrani here with TMC. Thanks for watching. We're at Interop 2013. On our program is Dan with NetOptics. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
So tell me a little bit about what we're seeing here in the booth.
So we have in the booth quite a few things. We have 2 new products that we're announcing and we'll be releasing very soon. We also have 4 partner stations here with partners that we work closely with. And every time that they deploy their solution, they deploy our solution with it to make it work in the best possible way. So we have 2 products that are really noteworthy that we're announcing. One is for NPB, Network Packet Brokering, and then the second one is for Spike, for application-aware network performance monitoring.
Could you break down both of those announcements, go into a little bit more detail, please?
Sure. So let's start with the first one, the Network Packet Brokering device. We already have a market-leading solution called the Extreme platform. It does aggregation, it does filtering, and it does load balancing. What it actually allows customers to do is the following. It allows them to scale existing infrastructure in terms of tool to support higher speeds. Let me give you an example. If a customer has a gigabit network and they're upgrading to 10 gig, they need 10 gig tools in order to process the traffic. They need to go and purchase those tools. Those are very expensive. We can help them leverage the 1 gig tools and basically load balance the 10 gig traffic to multiple 1 gig tools. So if they're working, let's say, with 5 gigs out of the 10, we can distribute the 5 gig to 5 gigabit tools, and this way we keep their current investment, we allow them to scale with the existing infrastructure. Now if we go to 40 gig, the problem is even more difficult. 40 gig tools may not even be available. And so if you need to process 40 gig traffic with 10 gig tools, you need to use the load balancing functionality in our new Extreme 40 platform to distribute the traffic to 10 gig tools.
So for the 10 gig, you're really talking about arbitrage because you're saving the money of buying more expensive tools and keeping your investment. And then for the 40 gig, it's something that you may not have, the tools may not be there, the ones you need.
Exactly, or they may be way too expensive for you to even afford them, because in essence you might need to throw out the existing tools. That's a lot of money that you could use for other things, right? Now this is just one case. Another use case is, of course, to maximize the use of the current tools. If you have multiple networks, each is using 2 gigs, and you want to aggregate everything into a single tool that is really underutilized, this is something you can easily do with our Extreme platform, specifically with our 40 gig platform. You can do that for 40 gig links as well. In terms of the throughput of the box, it can go up to 1.2 terabits per second, which is really more than what most customers need. We already support that in the platform that we're going to release very soon. We announced actually yesterday the Extreme 40 platform.
Excellent. What else should we know?
Okay, so let me tell you about the other product that we're announcing. We have an application-aware network performance monitoring solution. What it gives customers is 2 types of visibility. One is network performance, for them to be able to answer questions such as, is the network up? If it is up, how is it being used? Am I maximizing my bandwidth? If there's too much traffic, who is consuming the traffic? Is it really for business, or is it some YouTube video that somebody is looking at that is basically taking the bandwidth that everybody needs for business? So this is one thing. Another thing is to understand on the application level the metadata. For example, email. How many emails are being sent? What kind of attachments? How much bandwidth those attachments are consuming? If it's Facebook, who's using Facebook? And you'd be surprised how often we get to customers and deploy the tool and they say there's no Facebook traffic here, and we put it up and within 2 minutes they see Facebook traffic and they're like scratching their head, okay, what's going on here? So there's a lot of visibility that we give. The news is that we announced yesterday support for 10 gig traffic as well. So with our current platform, our target audience is small branches. Think of retail stores, bank branches, think of clinics, hospitals. We also support SMBs with 10 gig. We're also playing with plugging holes in enterprise infrastructure.
Very exciting. What are customers saying?
Customers love it. So customers, I can tell you first, let's start with the Extreme 40. We already have a long queue of customers that are waiting to get the platform, which is exciting. I mean, it's something that anybody would want to have in a product that hasn't even been released yet, just announced. So that's great. For Spike, we already have customers that have actually pushed for us to support 10 gig because they need it in their 10 gig networks as well. So customers are super happy to get these announcements and are waiting with a stopper for the products to be available.
Excellent. Are there any future things that you can tell us, like what's next for the company?
Yes, so there's a lot of noise, buzz, whatever you call it, around SDN, software-defined networks, and that's another thing that we're promoting heavily. In fact, we've been doing it for a while, although SDN wasn't coined back then. To give you an example, we have customers that are taking traffic and passing it through a device, and they're making decisions based on events that are happening elsewhere. For example, they take information from a tool like Snort, identifying a suspect, and then based on that information, they tell our box to reroute traffic to a recorder, depending on who that suspect, quote unquote, is. So this is SDN by definition, right? You reroute traffic based on the overall picture of the network. We've been doing it for a while. The Extreme 40 platform is adding to that in terms of the NetConf interface that we support. That is an open interface that anybody can leverage in order to allow our box to reroute traffic based on decisions that they make elsewhere.
Excellent. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.